I keep hearing people say that coaching and selling courses and info products is dead, and I think they're absolutely wrong. The reason for that, well, two reasons really. Reason number one, the reason they say this, by the way, is because of AI. They say that, well, you just ask AI how to do anything and it'll walk you through it, and you can just learn from AI and it's free, or, you know, if you pay for the paid plan, then it's $20 a month or whatever. And I think they're wrong for two reasons. Number one, because the way that AI works is it's trained on a wide data set of material that is, and it generally tends to prioritize whatever is the consensus. So whatever is the most repeated advice on how to do something. So it's just going to give you like whatever is the mainstream advice. Now, the reason that you buy a course on something, at least for me, in my experience, is I want to learn something that's outside the mainstream. I want to learn something that the mainstream doesn't know yet. I want to learn what's on the fringes. That's usually the thing that's most helpful. That's you know, beyond, that's cutting edge, that's beyond what just everybody is already saying. Those are the kind of courses, those are the kind of coaching programs that you want to pay for already, even pre-AI. You know, there's always been like articles and blogs and YouTube videos. We've had that for a long time. And a lot of people have said that. So why should I pay for anything when I can just find it for free on YouTube? And so that's one of the reasons, is because, well, you have it. Well, there's a few reasons, right? And you like, it's really nice to have it all structured. It's just, here's the steps A to Z for how to get your result. Whereas YouTube tends to be just a bunch of sporadic content. It's like tips and tricks here and there. And also YouTube is, and blogs for that matter, they're like SEO optimized, or they're optimized for the algorithm. So it's like, I'm going to make content on this little piece. Maybe there's a 10-step process that I need to get the result that I want. But the YouTuber is going to make contents on step 3 and step 7 because those are the steps that get views on YouTube, and everything else just kind of gets buried. So like YouTube people that post on YouTube are very much optimizing for what tends to get views, and what tends to get views is oftentimes not the complete picture of whatever you need to actually get the result, right? YouTube is almost, I mean, it's partially education, it's partially entertainment. So people click on whatever seems enticing to them at the time. Whereas if you buy a course, and what you'll find too is if you buy a course from somebody that already teaches stuff on YouTube, well, you click on the thing on YouTube that's the most enticing, it's the most interesting. And then when you actually go and buy the course, on the other hand, then what you find is that you're actually learning the process, and you're learning much more of the boring stuff that they never posted on YouTube because it wouldn't have gotten clicks, or it wouldn't have gotten watch time, right? So with AI, it's kind of the same, but also there's this issue of like what's mainstream versus what's cutting edge. And if you've been around the block a little while, you know that what's actually effective in a lot of areas of life is not politically correct. And that's also not going to make it into the AI algorithms, because they are will block out anything that's politically incorrect or that's likely to get the AI company a lawsuit. And this is a really big deal. I just kind of figured out recently is that a lot of what especially big companies do, if they give you advice about something, let's take health, for example. Health is a really important one. Let's say that you have some sort of alternative health treatment that can cure somebody of cancer. Well, obviously Big Pharma doesn't want you to cure anybody of cancer unless they're getting paid for it. And so if you come up with this, whether it works or not, and you disseminate this out into the world, they're going to do everything they can to shut you down. And what they're especially going to do is they're going to find people who will sue you. So somebody will buy your course that has cancer, and then they're not going to follow it properly. Let's, hypothetically saying that this thing actually works, I don't know. But hypothetically, if the thing actually works, they'll get a bunch of people to buy it. And some people are not going to follow the directions, and they're going to die of cancer anyway. And then their families are going to come sue you because you told them to do this thing. They bought your course and they still died anyway. Right? And they do the same thing with money-making stuff. It's like they buy a course on how to make money. They don't follow any of it, but then they come and sue you because they didn't make any money. So, like, this is, I'm kind of going on another tangent here, but small creators can kind of slip through the cracks and do this kind of thing and stay under the radar. But the big creators cannot. If ChatGPT tells you how to take the right sequence of herbs and get out in the sunlight and that cures your cancer, that's a big problem for the pharma companies, and they're absolutely going to come after them legally. And most of these big companies have zero spine when it comes to legal liability, and so they're going to make sure that their algorithms are teaching you only what's the accepted medical protocol and make sure that you don't disseminate anything else. And again, health is just one example, but there are a lot of different ways that this happens. So when you have AI teach you how to do something, it's really just going to give you the mainstream narrative, and it's not going to teach you what actually works if what actually works is not in the mainstream narrative. So that is reason number one. Actually there are three reasons. I'll give you three. Reason number two is coaching. Like, if you actually do live coaching and you can help the person through the thing, well, maybe this is a reason, maybe it's not, because AI can do this to some extent. So actually, yeah, AI can do that too. So if they like, you teach somebody how to build a landing page, for example, and then you can actually look over their landing page and give them feedback and tell them what to change. Well, AI can do that too. So I'll go back to my two reasons instead of my three reasons. So that one, yeah, I guess AI can do that one. So maybe that's why they're saying that coaching is dead. But the third reason, and this is a big one, is that you're far more likely to be successful at something if you pay for it. If you just ask ChatGPT how to make $1 million, it'll tell you, but how much legwork, how much elbow grease are you going to put into actually following what ChatGPT told you to do? Chances are not that much. Whereas, if you buy a coaching program for, let's say, $10,000, then what happens essentially, the way that the system works, is that you watch some kind of video sales letter or something, or you read a book and it tells you about this system, you learn something about the system, and then you get on a call with the salesman and talk about your specific situation, and the salesman says, I think that given your situation, this is exactly what you should do, and we teach you exactly how to do this in the course. It's $10,000, do you want it? And basically, if the salesman's good and the marketing material is good, it should have gotten you like all frothing at the mouth and super excited about this course or this coaching program, because it's going to get you exactly from point A where you are now to point B where you want to be, right? And in that moment, when you're excited, when you're visualizing that idealized future, then that's when you're going to be willing to make the leap and pay the big ticket price, right? Well, the day after that, you're not excited anymore. You go back down to normal and you start thinking, oh crap, maybe I made a big mistake. But here's the thing, you already did it. It's already a sunk cost. You've already committed. And so what are you going to do? Are you just going to give up like the day after you paid 10 grand for a coaching program? No, you're not. If you're like most people, you're going to put a hell of a lot more effort into it because you paid for it. So ironically, and anything, worth doing in life, for the most part, requires a lot of effort. And it requires you to face your own demons in your mind, and it requires a lot of uncertainty. So the fact that you paid that 10 grand just like increases your odds of success by like 100x. Now you're far more likely to go through the discomfort of doing the things that you need to do in order to get the result, because you want to avoid the discomfort of knowing that you just wasted 10 grand, right? So this is why, I mean, I've invested in big ticket programs multiple times, and like I'm pretty sure that the vast majority of people who are successful have also done that. Not even necessarily because the information in the big ticket program is any better than you would get on ChatGPT. I mean, ideally it should be because of reason number one I just went over, but even if it's not, you still just the level of commitment that it kind of forces from you is still going to make you far more likely to succeed. So for that reason, I don't think coaching is dead at all. I think it's going to be, I think there's, yeah, I think it's going to be the same as always. And so if you are considering buying a coaching program, then think about that. You know, you're far more likely to be successful from a coaching program, assuming it's a good coaching program, than you are from ChatGPT alone. And if you're thinking about selling a coaching program, I think it's still a very viable business model. So happy to hear your comments in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.